Today we're gonna do a review of this guy, the Airback Next Suitcase. Chances are if you're here, you were on Instagram or Facebook and there was an ad for a suitcase that could do this. And you're like, I wanna learn more because that looks cool. But I need an honest reviewer's opinion on whether or not it's actually a cool feature and whether it's worth it. And that's what we do best on Nomadization. We've reviewed 500 of the world's best backpack, slings, suitcases, you name it. We're gonna pack it out. We're gonna test the actual vacuum part and we're gonna let you know if it's worth it. And if you're not quite sure if it's the suitcase for you, you're gonna stick around to the end of the video where I'll make some alternative recommendations that might better suit your needs. Let's talk about the gist of the Airback Next Suitcase. Airback is a new carry brand that came out of the scene via Kickstarter, and they're kind of crushing it because they're building the entire brand around this and this. And it's really good for like viral marketing, but also like a lot of people, like the ability to compress, like vacuum seal their stuff to save space. And some of this suitcase's top features are gonna be the fact that the main compartment is no zipper. My first time on a suitcase. The TSA locks for both the front compartment and the main compartment. We've got an admin compartment that has some decent organization. Clamshell style opening with also some decent organization on this side. A built-in compression strap. Let's be honest, the star of the show is gonna be this guy right here, the built-in vacuum compression system. The suitcase currently comes in one color option, black. The size is advertised to be carry-on, which will vary depending on where you are carrying this on. Different airlines and countries have different requirements. For this guy, we're looking at a height with the wheels of just under 21 inches, a width of around 15 inches, and a depth of under 9.5 inches. Let me know, does that fit the carry-on compliance for the airlines that you fly with? The comment section always gets really spicy when it comes to like carry-on compliance and does the bag fit. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Now the size is advertised to be 45 to 68 liters, but there's no expansion on this bag. So it's not like it goes from 45 and expands to 68 liters. That's sort of what they're saying you can fit with the vacuum compression system, which we'll put to the test shortly. Yes, we will. Another enormous thing when it comes to carry-on these days is the weight, which for us is clocking in at 10.7 pounds on scale number 1 and 10.3 pounds on scale number 2, which again, let me know. Spicy hot takes in the comments. Is that too heavy for a carry-on? You basically exceeded half of your baggage allowance when it comes to, carry-on restrictions, especially on budget airlines. But some of y'all don't care because you want the extra protection. Let me know what you think about the weight of this carry-on in the comments below. For reference, I'm 5'8", so you can see what the suitcase looks like when I'm carrying it, waltzing around the streets of Hong Kong. All Airback products are protected by a 3-year warranty against manufacturing defects. And for all that, this suitcase, it ain't cheap. Runs around 500 USD. But if at any point in this review you're thinking to yourself, dude, wide handle, silky smooth wheels, built-in compression, I'm sold. And you're gonna make a purchase. We highly suggest that you do so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes, especially for Airback. But that link also helps to support the Nomadization YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the outside of the Airback Next Suitcase. Aesthetically, I think it definitely looks premium. 500 USD without a lifetime warranty, not my favorite, but you're definitely, getting a pretty sick vibe with this thing. And that is aided with this polycarbonate exterior material. Polycarbonate is great because it means the stuff in your suitcase is gonna be very protected, especially if you gotta, check it. God, I hate when they force you to check it, but it happens. And if that happens with this suitcase, your stuff's gonna be very well protected, but your likelihood of getting it checked is probably increased because of the polycarbonate material kind of a catch-22. Let's start with the bottom. For the wheels, we are utilizing Hinomoto wheels. And I'm sorry, but I have to say it like that. Hinomoto is a Japanese company, and if you wanna make a $500 suitcase, it better be using Hinomoto wheels and YKK zippers, both Japanese companies because they do it the best. Different companies, but like Hinomoto, these wheels are silky smooth. And obviously, as you can see, they are multi-directional. Cream of the crop, it better be for 500 bucks. Now on one side, we have these 1, 2, 3, 4 plastic parts. These just ensure that when you put the suitcase down this way, the polycarbonate exterior doesn't get scratched. On side number 2, we have a TSA lock, and same thing with the top. Should be noted though, only one handle on the top, no bottom handle, and no side handles, which is kind of strange for a suitcase. Like here's the Air Carry-On, for instance, and you've got just 2 handles, but you always get the one on the side, right? Just kind of gives you the extra point of leverage when you're putting the bag overhead. But now let's talk about the handle. Because, ooh, see that? This baby's a wide handle, which again, like every design choice, is gonna come with pros and cons. This is made from aluminum. It feels very strong. It does have a bit of wiggliness to it. Again, I'm not really a suitcase expert the way that I am kind of with backpacks, or more of an enthusiast with backpacks than suitcases, let's say that. But overall, testing this outside, fully packed out, the handle felt high quality. But with a wide handle, the pros and cons you gotta consider. Pro number one, more control. Margaret, you've been using a wide handle suitcase recently, right? You're a fan? Why? Easy to maneuver the suitcase. Instead of like a dainty little handle like this just gives you a bit more leverage. You can say, suitcase, we're going this way and that way. But on the flip side, you're not gonna be able to fit anything through the luggage pass-through sleeve on the backpack. For instance, most backpacks or even messengers and even some briefs have like a sleeve right here so you can pop it over the bag. Definitely not gonna work with the wide mouth. But if you're only traveling with this and maybe a purse or a small sling, shouldn't be a problem. The handle has 1, 2, 3 height options. We do got a bit of the wiggle going on, but more or less, I think it's in line with the price point. But let's get into the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about the inside of the Airback Next Suitcase, because this is really what the suitcase is all about. Starting with the front admin compartment, which is accessible with these 2 zippers, and you better be YKK at this price point. They are. Thank John Stamos for that. This admin compartment is gusseted, but removable, so you can open it then full clamshell if you want, or keep the gusset, which I'd recommend, but it's nice to have it removable just in case. You can see inside we have a cable pass-through, laptop sleeve, another sleeve at the bottom, and then on the flip side, 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. For the 4 pockets, you can see you can fit smaller things on the top and larger things in the pockets below. A little tight though, you're not gonna get super bulky gear in there. What's nice about this admin pocket too is it's not taking up too much space from the main compartment. A lot of these admin compartments, they're really recessed, right? So you're not losing a lot of packing cubes and clothes and tech pouch space. But because of that, closing this with bulkier gear is gonna be a bit challenging. You're not gonna really fit super bulky stuff in here. I mean, even with the sunglasses, just a regular hard shell sunglasses holder. Okay, we can close it, but we're squishing it a bit, right? So just really keep that in mind, especially if you're trying to put a laptop in this compartment. I got a 13-inch MacBook Pro. You can see it slides right in. Ultimately, it's not like the greatest laptop compartment, but it doesn't have to be because the polycarbonate shell is doing all the work. This is a 3D cutout of a 16-inch MacBook Pro. A little harsh on my delivery there, but it fits as well. And finally, let's do an Asus VivoBook 17-inch. Oh my. We have liftoff. Barely, but now keep in mind that we have the sunglasses here, right? Which aren't the bulkiest thing in the world, but we're not gonna close with the laptop in there. So you really have to keep this front super, super slim in regards to what you're packing or the type of gear that you're packing in there. I do think too that the cable pass-through is a nice little touch, whether you wanna put your phone in here, laptop / tablet in there. It just allows you to let it charge while you're flying, taking a nap on the plane, reading the in-flight magazine. So that's definitely a nice little touch. And then finally, to close this compartment, we got these zippers here, which I don't like them. They're circular in their shape. Can you see that? Yeah. So to be able to lock into here, they have to come around at a circular angle. And they just feel weird. They look gorgeous and very tidy when they're actually locked into place like this. But sort of like doing this, I don't know, not my favorite, but something you'll probably get used to. Let's get inside the main compartment. Now, this is very interesting. We have gone zipperless, people. And there's pros and cons to zippers or no zippers on a suitcase. Pro number one of a zipper, you're not gonna pinch your finger like I just did about 12 minutes ago. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. You got me good. So please, if you're a rambunctious individual like I am, be careful of your fingers because they can get caught. And another con is just like, if you wanna kind of grab something from the top with a zipper, you can kind of do that, not very well, but that's an option. Versus with no zipper, you gotta just kind of fully commit, fully open every single time. But on the flip side, we have definitely increased safety because zippers can easily get broken into. You can just pop a pen in there and unzip the whole thing, right? So if security is of the utmost importance to you, then you go ahead and lock the TSA lock, smush up the numbers. By the way, don't tell anyone my code was 000. Hope my secret's safe with you. Then you definitely have enhanced security on your trip. All right, main compartment. Let's get into the good stuff. Now, on the Airback backpack, which you reviewed right here, comment section was a little mixed in regards to how effective the actual vacuum system was. A Few reasons for that. Reason number one, you can actually buy vacuum systems like this separately that don't need to be built in to your suitcase. Because think about it, if it's built in and you get any punctures or problems with this suitcase, then all of a sudden the whole thing is unusable. Versus if it's a separate system that you then put into your suitcase, you kind of mitigate that risk. But on the flip side, what I will say is Airback's 3-year warranty is a nice sort of safety net in regards to that. And the materials do feel pretty durable. But then again, I don't have long-term use on this, so I can't comment on really much past just our initial reviewing. The other reason why people were critical, about half. Half love it, half don't like it. The other reason that people were critical about the backpack was the weight. Because at the end of the day, you know, you've got a lot of chunk going on here. And the vacuum, close your ears, Margaret, the vacuum itself is sold separately. And it's bulky, and you gotta bring this along, right? But it is pretty effective at what it does. Let's do a demonstration. So getting into this compartment, this is without a doubt the most hardcore sticky zipper I've done ever experienced in my life. That was my Ruth from Ozark impression. But it has to be to keep it airtight, right? Because when you air seal this thing, you can't have, you know, it's gotta work. You gotta really make sure the zipper is heavy duty, sticky, and airtight. Now a system like this allows you to leave the packing cubes at home, which is quite nice. We can go ahead and just kind of pack everything in here. So let's do full demonstration. I got 2 pairs of shorts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shirts. Some socks on the side, sweater on the side. We'll do a couple jackets. I got my Unbound Merino wool hoodie, my Nomatic jacket as well. We gotta do the work for you guys to make sure. Here's another hoodie, right? So you can see we really bulked this thing up. Screw it, throw one more thick pair of shorts in there, right? This should be a decent representation of a week's worth of clothes for the average traveler. So, let the games begin. You can see right here that we've definitely exceeded the depth of the suitcase. So now we take our handy dandy vacuum. Margaret, ready? Let the games begin. I always want to do an evil laugh with this thing. You can see we're compressing, people, right? You can see it's sucking it in. Yes, your soul is mine. It's a bit of a tedious process. It takes some time. We're getting more movement. Okay, Margaret, you may put your headphones back in. So you can see what's happened here. You know, we definitely cut this thing down, right? I mean, we were like at about this, and now we're at about this. It should be noted that with a system like this, you're not gonna go from like 100% space to 30%, right? We've cut off probably about 20 to 30% of the bulk of what was happening. And you can see right here, we packed a little unevenly. So this side is a bit more recessed, that not, but you know, my final answer is that 20 to 30% is what you can cut down on with a vacuum system like this. But one other potential negative about this system, or just vacuuming in general, is the quality of your clothes post-vacuuming, as to they may get wrinkly, right? Just depends on the fabrics that your clothes are made of and how you fold them up. Compression strap though, nice to have, can help you even maybe compress it down slightly further. Other side, we've got this large canyon area right there and 2 pockets. I'm gonna throw some tech pouches in here, umbrella, shoes. So it's definitely got some balls to it in terms of what it can fit. I'm gonna throw the book in the waterproof-ish compartment right there. And I'm gonna throw the vacuum itself, right? Because remember, you gotta carry this thing around with you. Otherwise you're gonna be really f***ing the air out of it. And we're gonna go ahead and close this up. Remember, I didn't go vacuum sealed right now. Pop into place, good to go. So as you saw, it required a little bit of oomph to close the suitcase, which would have been eliminated had I kept it vacuum sealed. And now you've seen it in action, and I gotta know, what do you think? Gimmicky, brilliant, waste of money, the future of travel? Let me know your thoughts about the Airback Next Suitcase compression vacuum system in the comments below. I gotta know. And I gotta say, if you're still here watching this review, there's a good chance that you are a bit of a traveler. And from one traveler to another, I say, welcome to our channel. Because here at Nomads Nation, we take travel gear and everyday carry gear, but especially travel gear, very seriously. And if you also take your travel gear very seriously, then you gotta know about the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, I'm kind of like your reporter in the field, where I'm bringing you like on the front lines of what's happening in this incredible incredible world of travel gear. There's so many cool companies doing so many cool things with so many cool suitcases and bags and everything in between. So if you like to optimize your carry and you want all the best travel hacks and tips that we have from visiting 60 countries, then be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. There you can sign up to the Nomadization newsletter and hope to see you in your inbox. All right, let's talk about the pros and the cons. Pro number one, super durable build. Pro number two is gonna be the quick access of this front compartment. And pro number three, if you dig it, is going to be the compression of the internal vacuum system. But on the con side, it also might be the compression of that internal vacuum system because it just might not be your thing. Con number two, quite heavy for the size. And con number three, for some of y'all out there, the wide handle might be a deal breaker because it doesn't integrate with luggage pass-throughs on the back of bags. But if you're still here, I think there's a good chance that you're really digging this suitcase. And if that's the case, just a reminder that if you want to find out more information or you're going to make a purchase, we have discount codes with Airback that are exclusive to the Nomadization community. So be sure to use the first link in the description just to make sure you get the best price and that you don't miss that discount code. But if you're not quite sold, I've got some other suitcase alternatives that might better suit your needs. Alternative recommendation number one is going to be suitcases from Level 8. Great option for you if you're looking for the wide handle. You're like, dude, I'm all about that. But you're not trying to drop 500 bucks. You don't need the vacuum compression system. You're on a bit more of a budget. That's what Level 8 does best. And alternative recommendation number two is gonna be the Nomatic Pro suitcase. Great option for you if, again, you don't need the vacuum compression system. That's kind of just exclusive to Airback. But you do like the quick access laptop compartment. And you want something that's nice and business friendly and you don't mind dropping, a bit more money onto it, and it's a bit more of an investment, but it's a bit more traditional is where you got the zipper. Honestly, all suitcases are bringing different things to the table. Each have their unique set of pros and cons. And to learn more about the alternatives with Luggage and Nomatic, just go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions about any bags, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.